Hi boys and girls, it's your art teacher, Mrs. Steffgen. I'm here at home and I'm upstairs in my Artist Loft studio, and I wanted to kind of show you around today and show you how I go about making my art. I'm in my studio right now and I have a storage space up here with old paintings, and I'm now starting to work on a new series, an animal series. This is my newest painting, the rhino, and I'm working on another animal right now. And so I just want to show you about how I go about actually making my paintings. So I'm going to show you how the paintings start. So this, the wood pieces are created by my husband, who puts them together in the size that I want. And then we take a piece of material called canvas and we both stretch it together so that it's nice and stiff and hard. And once it's nice and stiff and hard, I bring it up into my studio. I set it up here where I begin to paint. And before I started, and it's just the material, I get this stuff called gesso, which comes in this big container. And when I open it up, it's white, really thick white paint, and I use a really big brush to put it on here, and I put the whole white gesso all over the canvas. It makes it thicker and harder and easier for me to paint with depth. And then after I do that, I take bigger brushes like these, and I start to put out all kinds of color. Notice I have tons of different colored paints in my bag and outside my bag. And I just take a variety of paint and I put it on my palette, which is this, where I paint from. And I just take the color and I just put color everywhere, all over my painting. You'll notice that these are some of the background colors behind what I'm painting right now. And those background colors will kind of come through, like they've kind of come through the scales beneath what I'm painting right now. I'm painting a mammal. This is actually a mammal, but he has scales all over his body. And you can see the blue and the green and the red and all the different pink and all the different colors I used originally behind him. Then after I do all of that, I take charcoal. I like to take the thinner charcoal, but it comes in thicker pieces too, and I do a drawing of what I actually want to create on my canvas. I draw it out first. After I draw it out, then I go back in with all the colors that I want to use, and I start to paint. So in this particular painting, I'm using, for the scales, I'm using a lot of yellows and white mixed together. So I've already put out some yellow here on my palette. I'm going to take the lighter yellow and put it out too, and then I'm going to take a big glob of white paint and put it out here, and then I do a lot of mixing. We've talked about mixing colors before in class, and that's what I do up here in my studio. I take some white, I take some of one of the yellow, the other yellow, and the lighter yellow, and then I go back and I start painting on all the scales, and I put layers and layers of this different colored yellow paint. Maybe I want to make it a little bit lighter, so I add a little bit more white to it, and I start to paint on all my scales. And I go back and I start to do this over and over again until I feel like I'm completely finished with the scales, and then I might move on to something else on the painting somewhere. But I'm in the process right now of actually working on the scales, so I'm just showing you how I hold my paintbrush, how I use it. We've talked about this from the time you were in kindergarten, when we first talked about using pencils or using crayons. Everybody knew we don't just hold them like this. We put them between our fingers, and I actually hold my paintbrush the same way I hold a pencil. So I hold it like this, and then I just begin to paint. And I have a chair in here, a tall chair that I can sit up on if I want to sit and paint for a while. I a lot of times stand when I paint. I a lot of times crouch when I paint, when I want to get down. So I have to get into all these different positions to actually create this painting. So today, I just wanted to show you how I go about doing everything up here in my beautiful but messy kind of studio where I work every day. So that was it, guys. I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.